From All Souls Night by William Butler Yeats. Midnight has come, and the great Christchurch bell, and many a lesser bell, sound through the room, and it is All Souls Night, and 2 long glasses, brimmed with muscatel, bubble upon the table. A ghost may come, for it is a ghost's right. His element is so fine, being sharpened by his death, to drink from the wine breath, while our gross palates drink from the whole wine. But names are nothing. What matter who it be? So that his elements have grown so fine, the fume of muscatel can give his sharpened palate ecstasy. No living man can drink from the whole wine. I have mummy truths to tell. Whereat the living mock, though not for sober ear. For maybe all that hear should laugh and weep an hour upon the clock. Such thought have I, hold it tight, till meditation master its parts. Nothing can stay my glance, until that glance run in the world's despite, to where the damned have howled away their hearts, and where the blessed dance. Such thought, that it bound, I need no other thing, wound in mind's wandering, as mummies in the mummy cloth are wound. Welcome to the Fright Lab. I'm Lucas Yoakum. Halloween is a very important day for me. I look forward to it all year long. In a way, I consider it the end of my year. November and December may as well not occur at all. I suppose it's not surprising that I would feel this way. Halloween is more important to fans of horror and other just darker forms of media, right? More so than Christmas, you would think. I know that on Halloween night, kids will take to the streets, bags in hand, looking forward to a haul of ghoulishly decorated candy. Many adults will be heading to bars, goth industrial fans will be headed to the clubs, and witches' covens will no doubt convene. Many adults will be doing what I'm doing on Halloween night, standing on a porch, giving out candy to trick-or-treaters. St. Louis has a unique Halloween night tradition with kids who go out trick-or-treating. The kids come up and give you the customary greeting, but then the adults ask the kids to tell them a joke. As a child, we did this, growing up with my family, and as far as I can tell, it's a tradition that went on for decades before my childhood. As a result, I'm helping to keep this quaint tradition alive. Funny to think about, isn't it? Halloween is a tradition for us. Sure, it is left over and adapted from the tradition of Samhain, a Celtic tradition. It's where our jack-o'-lanterns come from. Some say, on Halloween, the walls of reality are a little more thin than normal, allowing for ghosts to come from the realms of the dead. They come and they visit us. There are plenty of festivals around the world with similar themes. Dia de los Muertos in Mexico and Latin America happen right after Halloween on November 1st and 2nd. And the Japanese have a ceremony called Toro Nagashi. It's practiced during the summer festival of Obon. The belief is similar to Samhain and Dia de los Muertos. The souls of the dead return to Earth during this time period. However, these souls need to be guided back to their own realm of the dead. As a result, people light paper lanterns, and they set them to float from rivers into the bay. These lanterns will often have names and prayers for loved ones written to help them get back, to help them go back to where they should be, to their spectral resting place. You know, it's hard for me to think about these traditions, from kids telling silly jokes in costumes to the way we commune and guide our beloved dead to their proper abodes. I don't know, without feeling a little emotional. Traditions not only guide us, but bind us together in communities. It's taken me a while to see it, but I really do think there is something of an unspoken community amongst horror fans. We're tied up in our love of spooky stories and scary visuals, and I'm pleased to report that this is a tradition too. The earliest ghost stories occur from the Epic of Gilgamesh, originating some 3,500 years ago, and there are stone tablets and records of stories from this period, specifically Babylon and ancient Egypt, detailing this. And in Edo period Japan, so that's from 1600 to the mid-1800s, there's a tradition of telling spooky ghost stories in a spooky atmosphere called Hayaku Monogatari Kaidenkai. It sounds like a fun game. Lamps are lit around a room where an assembled party begin telling each other these kind of written, prescribed ghost stories. As the night goes on and each story is told, one lamp is extinguished at a time until you're in pitch black darkness being told scary stories. I could see how this could be a very unsettling way to spend an evening, especially in a world without electric light. I've spent a lot of time trying to understand why we always go back to the scary stuff. Frankly, I think I'd have a probably easier time explaining why I keep coming back to the scary stuff, why I love horror so much. I have to level with you all. I don't really know. More than anything, I think I just love the genre. But I do know that loving a good scare is a deeply human thing. Horror is not only a tradition, but it's one of the oldest traditions we have. Think about it. Cavemen sitting around the fire, waiting, fall asleep, for it to be safe enough to fall asleep, wondering just what's outside of that ring of light. I have to imagine a great many cavemen went into the dark, absolutely petrified, not knowing what was there. I heard someone recently use this idea of the dark forest theory, that if you're standing out in the middle of the woods in the middle of the night, it's so still and it's so silent, and you're tempted to think for just a split second, nothing's there. It's just you and you're alone. But that's not true. The forest is very, very occupied, from insects to larger animals, and they're just hiding from predators. So it's not just any old tradition. It's one of the oldest traditions we have. And, we keep inventing new traditions in horror. I mean, think about like the music associated with horror, right? That includes everything from the Monster Mash to the soundtracks of John Carpenter or the albums of Goblin, even to subgenres of metal and punk and hip hop and electronic music of all variety. I can't count how many dark ambient albums I find day in and day out. All of that inspired by horror. And there are food and clothes and just a number of culture codings we have for horror and Halloween. We are steeped in this. Even for most people who only get into this mood like once a year, at some point outside of October, you can catch them walking around humming the melody to Michael Jackson's Thriller. All jokes aside, I consider myself extremely fortunate. I have a small but growing platform where I get to talk about one of my favorite subjects and have people listen to me. How lucky am I, right? And in some small way, I guess I'm a link in the chain of the Halloween spirit, handing candy to kids who are running around in silly clothes and telling silly jokes. And they all have a light in their eyes and great big grins. Even on the chilliest of All Hallows Eves, this is one of the big highlights of their year. I can't think of too many Halloweens as a child that it wasn't raining or freezing cold or where I couldn't see my own breath. It was a lot colder in the 1990s on Halloween night, I guess. But I recall those nights so well, and I have such a warm feeling about them, despite having to wear, a winter coat and a sweatshirt. It became a joke locally. Can you wear your Halloween costume over sweatpants? With all of that aside, I genuinely hope that this October has been good for you all. Speaking of traditions, I started this new tradition a few years ago and decided to take it up a step this year. I've been watching the 31 Days of Horror, watching 31 horror movies in 31 days. And I decided to record 31 short episodes about these movies. And I have to tell you, it was a fun challenge. It is a little strange to do, but it was a fun challenge. And whatever you're doing this Halloween night, if you are listening to some of those 31 episodes, good on you. If you are watching horror movies, if you're giving out candy to the kids and then settling in, whatever it is you're doing this year, I hope it brings you all a lot of joy and maybe a little bit of fear. All the stuff that this holiday is supposed to bring, all the stuff that we celebrate so much. And I try to do it every day, but it is a little more meaningful on October 31st. And I'm not too keen on Christmas or New Year's messages. If you celebrate that, that's you, but that's not me. So I guess I'm going to make this point here on Halloween. Thank you all for listening to the Fright Lab. If you're a longtime listener or subscriber, I really appreciate you joining Joe and I on this oddball little adventure we started. We have many, many more ideas that we want to throw at you all, and I'm glad you decided to stay. For any new listeners, welcome, and thank you for taking the time out of your busy holiday to listen to us. I hope our back catalog and future episodes will give you something to think about and hopefully a good laugh or two. And we couldn't do this without you all, and we hope you will stay on with us for this dark little journey we're on. And with that, I need to ask you all a question. What do you think? What's your favorite thing to do on Halloween? Do you have a movie you watch every October 31st? And do you have a favorite treat you'll be enjoying tonight? Me, I've been trying to watch how much candy I eat, but recently I've been trying to enjoy as many Reese's Pumpkins as I can. What can I say? I guess I'm just old-fashioned like that. So, once you haven't answered all these questions, you can let us know by reaching out to us at thefrightlabpodcast@gmail.com. We're available on all of the major social media platforms, as well as YouTube and Discord. So, as always, The Fright Lab is written and researched by me, Lucas Yoakum, and is produced by Joseph Wren. We appreciate each and every one of you, and we'll talk to you all again very, very soon. Oh, and most importantly, happy Halloween, siblings.